Hello and welcome back to A Year of Poetry with Randall Eckstein. I'm your host, Randall. In this web series, I'll be sharing poetry with you that I write every week. That's a dingly modifier. I'll be sharing with you each week poems that I write. There, that's better. So, to this week, we're going to be sharing two poems. The reason for that is I kind of liked our setup last week, where I shared two poems with you. And since I've been writing for almost 12 years, I have some old poetry that I really rather like. And I've got some new poetry that I continue writing, and sometimes I'm not that keen on it. Sometimes it's just putting in the work, hoping to get some diamonds, and just running through a lot of coal. But every once in a while, I get something that I really love. So in this episode, I'll be sharing something that I wrote recently, and something that I wrote quite a while ago. This first poem is called Pancake Geology, and there's nothing special, no extra hidden meaning in this. Sometimes I just like to write cute poems, something with a twist or something with amusement. And if I could compare this poem to anything, since it's food-related, Pancake Geology, this is my amouse bouche, just a short little thing to amuse your palate. So, Pancake Geology. Layers and layers spread thin, like the stratification of a hogback jutting up from my plate. I am the erosion, cutting down with each thrust, lifting out the sediment, licking each runnel. Here's the Pleistocene, the late Cretaceous, back to the middle Jurassic. See early Triassic there? Triassic is getting cold. Pancake Geology. Now, the second poem that I'd like to read for you is something I wrote years ago, and I really love it. This is one of my favorites. Let me set it up for you. The name of the poem is called The Theater of My Life. When I was a student in high school, I was a drama kid, and I had a history of theater class, and one element of this theater history class struck me. It just struck a chord in my heart, and it was like, wow, I want to do that. And I never was able to get into, because it's a lost art. It's something that just isn't done anymore. But this is the predecessor of our sitcoms. It's the predecessor of, dare I say, Saturday Night Live. The theater of my, Commedia Dell'Arte was a theatrical format that was created in the 16th century, and it lasted for about 200 years to the 18th century. And what it basically was is, and I'm not a professional scholar by any means, this is just what I remember from my history class back in high school in 1995. That's quite a long time ago. So basically, the script writer had stock characters that everybody was familiar with, and they had a scenario. They would write down, okay, this person enters, but no dialogue. The objective for this scene is A, B, C. However you get there is up to you. And although the same show would be put on day after day, the words would change, the intentions might change a little bit. The way it was done was all improvised, every single performance. The ideas were there, but the performance was so malleable, so changeable, and that just struck me so deeply in my core. I have never forgotten that. I want to be part of Commedia Dell'Arte. I think that would be just incredibly amazing, to have structure with freedom. So this poem, The Theater of My Life, uses the characters, the stock characters from Commedia Dell'Arte. It doesn't have like a meaning of Commedia Dell'Arte. It just uses the characters and a symbolic gesture from them describing my own feelings of life, feelings of relationship, feelings of, well, whatever you feel. I don't want to put too much of my feelings into it because I want it to be interpretable by anybody. So this is The Theater of My Life. I've lived the times of the theater of my life, dancing in the foyer. Commedia dell'arte, comprised the entirety of my personal repertoire. Dress rehearsals were never taken seriously. The final play was just a moment's decision, hurried through a huddle of half-written plots. The masterful monologues of my long and intrepid career were carried off by the glib tongues of the characters I've built from the stock of my immense experiences. As Harlequin, I have cried in the place of the writer, tears supplied as props. My Il Capitano laughed at pain, because the words on the page dictated it so. Cantarina hurt as you hurt, but seldom felt the ache, for it was a performance. The dancing, the art, the grace, all came from the well of the actor within me. Now, as I see you laying in the dimmed auditorium of your final show, I fear for the end of my long-settled contract. The time when the reviews return with scathing words, and the audience who watches no longer comes to see. The lights in the foyer dimmed, the props room locked, the writer's pens laid down. When that time comes, I don't know who will be there to catch me and lift me again, for your performances are at an end, and you will be gone. Then where should I turn? La Ruffiana will be my last, and with her cruel words, my play will end too. That's the theater of my life, and I just adore that poem. I adore the feelings, the way that each character symbolically speaks to the line that they're in and creates that ambiance of what I feel at that time, what I felt, how I viewed relationships, how I viewed interpersonal, I rely on you, you rely on me. What happens when you're gone? How do I go on from that? So, yeah, I really like that poem. I hope that you like it too. And next week, I'll come back with some more poetry, one old, one new, and hopefully we'll have some really awesome stuff written this week. I hope so, crossing my fingers. But until then, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.